You clicked on this video and you said, I want to write a book and I'm the guy who's going to teach you, okay? Because I have a book out. It's this, and this is me making my stupid thumbnail face. Okay. But anyway, yeah, you writing a book, not easy. Uh, a lot of people want to do it and a lot of people don't do it. And this is just a guide on how to do it. I have one book out right now. This is my baby. FYI, this is my baby. This is my wife. But anyway, writing a book, it's not easy. It's an extremely difficult process. But if you look this up because you want to do it, there's just a few steps that you need to take in order to actually do it. And I just have five basic concepts and ideas that you would want to actually know. Uh, and the first is basic is outlining a book. There are two types of outlines. There's either, well, there's not outlining, but okay, so there's outlining a book. So there's essentially two ways to write a book, and then there's a lot of blending of each. So there's something called plotters and pantsers, or another term is architects and gardeners. Okay, so plotters, it's you plan out exactly what the beat by beat steps of the story is going to be overall, plot wise. For a plotter, that would be, hey, the green jelly bean, he starts off at the candy farm, and then at the midpoint, he leaves the candy farm, and at the end point, he he fights a Jube Jube. I don't know. So for the plotter, you would pretty much have A, but you'd also you'd have from A to B, from point A to B, you would have from the jelly bean starting to leaving the jelly bean farm. I don't know if that's what I said. To leaving the jelly bean farm, that person would have a lot of the details within what happens between those 2 points written out. The pantser, on the other hand, would have the bigger details plotted out, but they would eventually have the story figured out as they write it. You know, for example, they might meet new characters that they didn't know were going to be there, new parts of the world, all kinds of stuff. Like how in this video, I clearly didn't plan. Look at these bloopers that got to this point. Okay, um, yeah. So there's two, and there's advantages and disadvantages to both. I think that for in my experience, I think that plotting is always really good because I like to have a strong structure of what I'm doing. But I find that with pantsing is there are things that come natural to the book that I didn't realize would happen. And I think it's you can make reactions based off of what the characters would do. So, you know, you got to outline your character arcs, you got to outline your plot, the world building, the theme. Okay, so say you have your outline ready to go. You have your characters, your idea, your theme, your coffee, and the number one thing people have asked me when they find out that I've written a book, um, Hive, buy it in that link below. I'm gonna be linking below something. I don't know what it is, but when people found out I write a book, they say, "How did you do it? What do you do?" Completing a book just comes down. So much of it comes down to discipline, the will to sit down and do it and just work through it. So, for example, I mean, for me, it's a routine. I have at this point, I have 3,000 words a day. I'm working on my third book right now. Then it was 2,000 words a day. But yeah, you just have to be able to sit down and do it. So for everybody, that would be very different. That can mean today, I'm going to do 1,000 words or 1,500, or I'm going to set a timer for 30 minutes. It doesn't matter. But really, it's just sitting down, having the discipline, writing, finishing a draft, and then leading on to getting feedback and working on the next draft. And some people are more motivated by the stick. You know, some people are like, you know, carrot and stick. Some people say, "Oh, I want a punishment." So you could maybe, I don't know, say no TV for a week or get a spanking. But I don't think that's much of a punishment. You know, most women are into that kind of thing. That leads into my next step. You know, get feedback. Seriously, like get honest feedback. And there's a lot of temptation to go to your family and friends, which is actually something I don't recommend because they might not be completely honest with you. There's a personal relationship. There are lots of avenues to get uh, feedback. So, for example, for me, there's these things called beta readers, which they essentially, for me, it's strangers. I will pay people a little bit of money to read my book or the book that I'm working on, and then eventually they look at it and they'll just say their honest opinion because there is no relationship. So, and that outside perspective helps you see the flaws in your characters, the flaws in your world, things that you probably don't know about, but eventually you find out about. And it helps because it pretty much makes it a better product. Anything that I heard consistently from 3 or 4 people, then it's all okay. I need to change this, or I should change this because it's a flaw. But if it's one person, then it's a if I do seriously consider it. But if I don't feel like I need to follow it, that could just be that person's opinion about something that they don't like. So you don't have to follow everything that's said. The good thing is you get to find out your strengths and weaknesses as a writer, and you get to see, okay, what should I lean more into? What do I need to work on? On this video, people are gonna comment, what's up with that thumbnail? The video's crooked. There's no natural light. I live in a basement suite. I have a sad life. I'm not a successful writer. Why are you watching me? And then that leads on to the next thing, which is getting a goddamn editor, okay? This was a huge mistake I made. This baby right here. I did not get a good editor. And there are different types of editors. There is a developmental editor, slightly different from a beta reader. Because instead of just reading it as a reader, as a consumer perspective, they look at it in terms of they're professionals and looking at, okay, what's wrong with the plot? What's wrong with the structure of the novel? Do you have inconsistencies? Do certain characters disappear? They're watching for everything to make sure that it works as a piece. Um, and I did not get that for my first novel. Just straight up didn't do it. Yeah, and it was a mistake. And I think it probably would have been a lot better if I had, but I didn't. Copy editors and proofreaders, which dive deeper into the actual context of, you know, grammar, punctuation, all the good stuff that I've listed here because I did not think of everything. The last part is putting that shit out to the world to read and marketing it. And that's probably the most difficult part because A, you'll put your heart and soul into this, maybe 1 year, 2 years, 20 years into something, and you're ready to get real feedback. And there's self-publishing. You can get the traditional published. I didn't do traditional published because I wanted to own the rights to everything that I did, and I wasn't good enough. So I don't know why you're watching this video still. The number one thing of marketing is knowing who it's for, and then wondering how do I get it to those people, and then how do I market it to those people. Because a romance novel is going to be vastly different from a science fiction novel. And you're not. And my recommendation is to continuously market it. That's what I'm doing. That's why I shot this video because I was hoping that someone would be out. Oh, this guy has really sporadic advice, but he's kind of funny. So let's see if his book is funny. Yeah. So that's the end of the video. Like and subscribe. You probably won't. No, no, actually, like and subscribe. I got more videos. I got short stories on this channel. I'm putting the book out in audiobook format on this channel. So yeah, write your book. Okay.